Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which part of the world you are. I'm Tom Sebastian. I'm the Regional Director for Seedstars. This Q&A session is with regard to a program that we have launched called SEED Inclusivity. I'm going to be talking over the next couple of minutes, introducing myself. We have a guest speaker as well, a good friend of Seedstars, and we'll also be introducing the program and then going through a few of the questions that have come up as part of this Q&A session. So I've been working with Seedstars for a little over a year and a half now. I work as the regional director for Asia and Asia Pacific. Seedstars as an organization, we are a venture capital firm and an impact advisory company. The organization is divided into three arms. The first arm of the business is what we are most known for. We are venture capital investors. We invest into early stage startups across emerging markets. We operate currently 8 funds, and we have well over 50 plus investments across 90 plus countries. The second arm of our business is called Seedstars Programs. And in Seedstars Programs, we work with ODAs, DFIs, philanthropic foundations, enterprise foundations, and national governments in de risking their investments when it comes to working on topics such as women empowerment, financial inclusion, mitigation of climate change, gender, and diversity inclusion. The team that works across the Seed Stars programs team, we're spread across the emerging markets. So the markets of operation for us are Latin America, Middle East, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and Asia and Asia Pacific. The third arm of our business is called Seedstars Talents. This is where we create academy models to enable youth from emerging markets to gain access to skills that will help them get better paying jobs or potentially also become entrepreneurs. So we teach them skills within machine learning, data sciences, blockchain, and the others, frontier technologies, along with teaching them entrepreneurial skills that will help them launch a business. Seedstars, as an organization, we are headquartered in Geneva, and we officially have been in operation for about 11 years now. Very quickly, I want to talk about the SEED Inclusivity Program. So the SEED Inclusivity Program is something that we have just launched a couple of months back. The Inclusivity Program is meant to empower entrepreneurs with disabilities and assistive tech businesses that are in the growth stage. This is powered by and sponsored by Visa Foundation and implemented by Seedstars, along with partner organizations that we have across the world as well. The region of operation for this current leg of the program is India, Indonesia, and Vietnam. And we will be running 3 cohorts, selecting 15 businesses each over the course of 3 years and working with them. As part of this program, startups can expect capacity building support, world-class curriculum that's executed by Seedstars as investors in what we look for our investee companies. We introduce the startups to also potential investors. We will be working on policy advisory and advocacy campaigns with local governments. We will be creating blended financing for the cohort and for the ecosystem, and potentially also going towards a creative fund of funds model as well. Without further ado, I also want to welcome our co-speaker for the day, a good friend of Seedstars, as I mentioned, Mr. Ali Shabbar. Ali is DeafTawk and is currently based out of Copenhagen. Ali, it's good to see you. Welcome on board. Thank you so much for being part of this. How are you?
I'm very good, Tom. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, it's been a proud position for the Seastar and you guys.
Fantastic. It's good to see you again, Ali. And you're in my backyard out there in Copenhagen. So really envious on this. But Ali, we'd love to hear a little bit about you, about DeafTalk and the journey of being an entrepreneur and the challenges you've also faced for yourself while you were building the business as well.
Surely, why not? From DeafTalk, people can easily understand we are a startup which helps or empowers the disability because it's DeafTalk, so it's helping to bridge the communication gap in order to communicate with the general public. We are a assistive technology startup which enable persons who are hearing impaired in order to communicate by using sign language interpretation through human interpreters or with an assistive technology on AI, which is artificial intelligence. So as per as my conversation, there are two major products. One is a mobile application which connects deaf users with human sign language interpreters to a video call in real time on the go, maximum 30 minutes seconds waiting, and deaf user can easily acquire the interpreter on the go, either communicating with doctor, teacher, or staff, or on the other side. There is a fun fact about it: 90% of deaf unable to read the native languages. So for that, we have an AI solution which translates from text to sign and voice to sign through human-led interpretation, 8% of accuracy, and it's an SDIs and APIs, which is a little technical verdict, which means it can be installed in mobile application or easily integrated with the websites.
Fantastic. And just a little curious about the current traction you've had as a business as well, the number of users that you have on your solutions, the countries you've deployed to.
Well, if we talk about the operational markets, we are operating in 5 different markets, including Denmark, US, Singapore, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. If we talk about our user base for B2C, it's 180,000 users, out of which 97 are the monthly active users. Whereas if we talk about B2B clients, we have more than 60 B2B clients, which makes their services inclusive. And it's a big value proposition for them. So they can easily tap the niche market of it as well.
Fantastic. And just to I mean, you're an entrepreneur who's surmounted challenges and also created opportunities for yourself. I know, last time we spoke, you mentioned how you had to move from Pakistan to Copenhagen to just start a business. Considering the challenges you had, do you want to throw a little bit of light on this? Because we're trying in the Seed Inclusivity Program, we believe that empowering entrepreneurs with disabilities creates hyper growth companies. There's a massive opportunity out there, and you're testament for this. So, just want to hear your thoughts on one, those challenges you faced, but two, why you think and why you believe, or share your thoughts about the inclusivity program and why it's unique.
Oh, Tom, as you rightly mentioned about your three major arms, I will start from the third arm, which is very, very important and which are very closer to our journey as an entrepreneur, which is a capacity building. Being a founder with disability, we do have certain challenges and we do have little opportunities for exploring the ecosystem. Hence, it is we are not as capacitated as founders from National University of Singapore or MIT or Stanford University, Harvard University founders. And the major reason of it is we have little exposure. So being a founder with disability, we need to learn about the ecosystem, about the growth element, about the repetition element, about the product sizing, about the managing the team building it. So in all contexts, we have to build our capacity in HR, in product, and raising the investment as well. So that's why I guess this program is very, very crucial for founders like me because it's not only helping me to understand my business, because understanding the problem is one thing, we do understand, but understanding the business and implementation, the capacity of implementation, what we are promising is the other way. So that will help me. Secondly, I cannot implement alone. We need a team and we need a network. So Seedstar will help us to build that network, either the angel investor or the VC firms or the partners who can help me to scale globally. So that's the other element, your second arm, in which you guys build that network of the founders with disabilities, very, very crucial to scale and definitely be the unicorns.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for putting so eloquently as well, Ali. And it's amazing to see founders like yourselves who've grown successful businesses um, with everything that's been dealt around you as well. So I'll quickly just jump in. If you can go back to the slides, please, and just show the slide on the inclusivity program. I'm going to just talk about it just one last time. So the what you see on the screen for everybody who's accessing this, you can go to the website www.seedinclusivity.com to get more information about this program. As I said before, this program is sponsored by Visa Foundation, and it's intended to be a 3-year program starting from January of 2025. That is when we will start working with the first cohort. We are working to empower entrepreneurs with disabilities and also select and work with assistive tech companies across India, Indonesia, and Vietnam. The goal is to create a very supportive ecosystem through policy advocacy, capacity building, access to financing, and access to investments, and creating an ecosystem, as Ali rightly said, of not just these stakeholders, but also potential partners who can help you grow your businesses and also expand into other markets. Next slide, please. Could we move to the next slide? Yeah, so we've gotten a vision about Ali and DeafTawk. For everybody who's accessing this through readers, I'm just going to read this out. DeafTalk, the vision is to empower the deaf community by unlocking the means to communicate using technology. The mission is ensuring full and effective participation of the deaf community across the globe using through quality sign language interpretation services. And we have with us the CEO of DeafTalk, Mr. Ali Shabbar, who's based out of Denmark. Next slide, please. So we have a few questions. Let's go to the first question that was asked to us. The question states, do I need to be based in a specific location to apply? It's a very good question. Since the focus countries are India, Indonesia, Vietnam, it is preferred that you're from these 3 markets, but that is not a disqualification criteria. If you have an interesting business that has an applicability towards India, Indonesia, and Vietnam as the target markets, then that is something that we can definitely entertain and we can take into the cohort. So long and short of it, do you need to be based in a specific location to apply? No, but you need to have an interest or some sort of an activation towards these 3 focus markets. Next question, please. What is the duration of the program? As I mentioned, the entire program is for 3 years, where we're selecting 3 cohorts each. Each cohort is engaged for a period of 6 months. So each cohort of 15 businesses, we will work with them for 6 months, post which there'll be some sort of an engagement post program. And the entire program consists of 3 cohorts, which is a total of 3 years. Next question, please. Who can apply to the SEED Inclusivity Program? The SEED Inclusivity Program applications are open for entrepreneurs with disabilities and assistive tech companies. Now, an important point to note here is that the businesses that we're looking for are tech-enabled businesses and potentially poised either in the high growth stage or can enter the high growth stage really soon. And what we mean by high growth stage is potentially where they're able to scale their businesses, increase market penetration, expand and create new business models, or potentially even raise additional funding from the whole thing. Who cannot apply, I think, is the more important question. Any businesses that don't conform to having entrepreneurs with disabilities or are assistive tech and are low tech in nature, those are the ones that probably wouldn't be the right fit for this particular program. Next question, please. Is there a question 4? Yeah. Yeah. Is there a preference for a certain type of applicants? As I said before in the previous question, the kind of applicants we're looking for are preferably leading tech-enabled businesses. They can be first-time founders. I don't think there's any kind of criteria against being or needing to be a multiple startup founder. First-time founders are well appreciated. Women-led organizations are also welcome to apply. We have a gender inclusion criteria on this program as well. And of course, if you're an entrepreneur with a disability with a tech-enabled businesses, those are the ones that we're looking for. Next question, please. What stage should my startup be? I think I've covered this as well. So you could be right from your early stage venture, if not in the growth stage, even pre-growth stage. Idea stage startups, we will look at the merit of the idea, if they have to be applicable, accepted into the cohort. Ideally, we would prefer startups that have a product market fit, or predominantly also have an MVP of a product, and ideally have some traction in the market to also prove for it. Next question, please. Would the program provide us with any sort of seed grant or funding? That's a good question. At the moment, the program is not positioned to provide any seed grant or funding, but that is something that we are working towards. And so this is not an assurance of a seed grant or funding, but that's also something we have taken to cognizance, and we are working towards securing some sort of grants that we can give out to the cohorts maybe in the future. We are also working towards bringing access to investors early on within the program as well. So there is potential for the startups that are part of this program to access those investors. An important point to mention here is that Seedstars, we are first and foremost a venture capital fund, which means that we are well ingrained within the investor ecosystem across the globe. And that gives us access to be able to position our cohort members to potential investors and thereby help in raising more financing as well. Next question. Can you please share the program benefits and the timelines? Now, from a timeline perspective, I'll take the last one first. The program starts, so the first cohort starts on January, the first week of January, and will run until the 30th of June, plus or minus 1 week. Over the course of these 6 months, program participants are taken through multiple modules and engagements with mentors, entrepreneurs in residence, investors, both within Seedstars and external investors as well. You will be positioned within ecosystem development services. So you'll be positioned with the UN, ideally with UNDP, UNESCAP, and also with national governments with who we will be working as well. In terms of program benefits, Seedstars, as an organization, we've been running several of these programs from an investor focus. You'll see a lot of accelerator programs in the market today are often executed by service providers within the market, capacity building service providers. And you will find a very few set that are run actually by investors themselves. This is one such program. So Seedstars, being an investor, we build our program in a way that we can help the startups understand what's the best way to grow that can make them attractive for investors, for also external capital, and potentially bring them to a path of high growth that they can succeed and build into. In the program, they will also be getting access to ecosystem stakeholders. So you will be positioned with the UN, within the UN agencies as well, where they also have access to a lot of development partners, have access to new markets, and potentially also investors that you can build on. So within the services of ecosystem building and business building, those are the primary benefits that you will receive. And also, of course, access to potential investors and raising financial capital. You will also be included as part of the Seedstars community, and the community has benefited by working with us as well, as seen from our previous cohorts, as seen from our investment portfolio as well. And so that is also an elite group of companies that you get to be a part of, to share your learnings, to learn from them, and also to share resources with each other. Next question, please. How many physical meetups and sessions will happen during the program? In terms of physical meetups, we are ideally looking at 3 meetups per year. Now, this number might change slightly, so we might increase that number if we see it fit. And also depends on the spread of the cohort. Right? So we're looking at how many companies from India, Indonesia, Vietnam. It is not going to be an equal split between the countries. It may happen, but at the moment, when we are looking at the applications as well, we have to be cognizant that we are selecting based on the best company that applies, but not the region that they apply from. Taking that in consideration, the physical meetups might change from 3 per year. It might increase to more as well. And so over the course of 3 years, we have 9 physical meetups. So each cohort at least gets a chance to meet up thrice. We potentially will also be including some of the previous cohorts in additional meetups we happen late in the program as well. In terms of the number of sessions, now that is a broad question. Per week, we approximately will be having 2 to 3 sessions. Now that is going to be that is not something that's set in stone, and that's why it's difficult to answer this question. We don't have um, a standalone cookie cutter kind of a program model that we use. Every cohort gets a customized program based on their needs, based on where they originate from, based on the stage in which these cohorts are from. So the number of sessions, if you're in the early stage startup stage, might be more, as versus somebody in the late in the growth stage might be lesser. Your interaction levels with probably entrepreneurs and residents and mentors and investors will be tempered accordingly. So you can be well assured that this is not going to be an overwhelming program that will take away your attention from your businesses. We are well cognizant of the fact that you have regular businesses to run, and so that is something that we will take into cognizance, and we will move further from there. Next question, please. Will the demo day be a physical or virtual? Ideally, we would like the demo day to always be a physical interaction. In this case, when it is a physical interaction, we will be flying down the startups to the common location. We will be providing with accommodation and travel expenses as well. So that's the preference, to have a physical session. If we are encountered with unexpected situations like what we had before with COVID, then of course it would be a virtual model. If not, we can definitely expect a physical model for the demo day. Next question, please. Okay, so this is a longer question. I'm going to read this out again. My startup facilitates inclusivity for seniors by introducing senior friendly digital accessibility via smartphones for seniors. Does it qualify under the SEED Inclusivity Program? Now, this is an interesting question. We will have to take the solution to understand one. You say that it's smartphones, so I'm assuming there's tech enablement in as part of this. We need to look at the differentiation that it has in terms of other such products within the market. From a sector perspective, since you're working with seniors, a large amount of seniors do face disability constraints, mobility constraints as well. And if that is something that the solution is able to build a bridge to help them, then that is something that we can definitely consider. Does it qualify under the program? I can't say for sure, but it's definitely something that we can consider within the application process. Next question, please. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. I apologize for this. Will the meetups be in India or other countries? I can safely say that the meetups will be across the three countries of India, Indonesia, Vietnam. Now, if the entire cohort happens to be only from India, then we might have a majority of the meetups happening in India. If the cohort is spread across India, Indonesia, Vietnam, then we will have them in different countries as well. Next question, please. Let me just get some water along the way. Does the Seed Inclusivity Program include community building startups that cater to bring people together and create better well-being? This is something that we will have to evaluate. Because we've come across a few such applications, but as long as they're able to have an angle of being a high growth company and potentially are poised to be a high growth company with tech enablement, a community building startup is also something that we will be interested to kind of look at, as long as there is an accessibility angle or catering to persons with disabilities. Next question, please. What topics will be covered during the capacity building sessions? Um, we broadly look at we broadly look at our programming in terms of understanding how do you build a growth stage business. So we bring in growth EIRs to help, or entrepreneurs and residents to help you within that stage. We will be bringing in product EIRs to help you with your product. We'll bring in finance EIRs to help you with raising financing and also better managing your cash flow. We'll also be bringing in a disability inclusivity expert who will help you work with the community as well. So those are the major topics they can think about. Think of it in terms of growth, product, and finance, and of course with disability inclusion and gender inclusion as well. That will be covered as part of this. I cannot go into the granularity of the programs because that would take a much longer session, but these are the primary areas that will be covered. Apart from also working with challenges that individual businesses are facing, potentially lining up with investors. So how do you really pitch to an investor? How do you raise the right kind of investment? What is the right kind of investment for you at considering the stage you are? Those are things that will be covered within the scope of the program. Next question, please. Will the travel costs be paid through the program? Yes, travel costs will be considered as long as it's for travel to certain events that we are hosting or co-hosting with other partners. The travel costs will be reimbursed or paid for as part of the program. Next question, please. Who are the partners we can collaborate with in your disability network? Interesting question. So we're currently in discussion with several partners. I am not at liberty to mention their names at the moment, but we are in discussion and formulating partnerships with leading disability advocacy and disability inclusion groups from across the world. We're also in discussion with several UN agencies who are part of the program. And once they are announced publicly, then I can go ahead and reveal those names. But the UN agencies are definitely going to be part of this. On the private sector, we additionally have investment organizations and VCs that have also come forward, that are part of our network anyway, that will also be collaborating with you in as part of the scope of this program. Next question, please. Looking to connect with NGO and distributors of assistive tech in Southeast Asia, how well does the program help in doing so during the program? This is a very specific request, right? So, looking at one is connecting with NGOs and distributors, one is the community, the other are your supply chain. This is something that we can facilitate as part of the engagement, but we cannot take it up as an exclusive business service and ensure that we provide complete connects facilitate all the connects that you would require. We can definitely bring in the right kind of NGOs and distributors. We can help you identify them. We can help in jointly reaching out to these distributors as well. But beyond that point of connection, then that is on to the business to take it forward as well. Next question, please. For mentors, since the original announcement asked for Seed ambassadors, I was wondering if there was a pathway to mentoring some of the entrepreneurs who are working on disability-focused solutions. Very good question. We would love to engage with mentors, who we of course are calling Seed ambassadors, and we would want to see your profiles. We would want to see and engage with you to understand how you can specifically mentor the startups that are part of this program. And for this, please do drop an email to us at seedinclusivity@seedstars.com, and we'd be happy to get into discussion with you further. Perfect. I'm not sure if you can directly ask me questions, but I'm going to ask this nevertheless. Any further questions? I think the mic should allow you to ask questions, but please feel free, if not, to ask the questions. Grace, Kami, Archie, are we getting any questions in the background? I'm sorry, I'm not on any other tool, so I can't see this. But if there are any questions, please do put them up. Yeah, so we have a question. A disability founder usually travels 1 to 2 assistants. That's a typically higher cost when compared to a normal one. Will you reimburse for the assistants too, or only the founder? Good question. Now, this will be considered from a case-to-case basis. While we have factored in to potentially also pay for the assistants, we will have to consider this from a case-to-case basis. Any other questions? I hope I answered the previous question, so I hope that was clear. Okay, fantastic. So I think if there are any further questions, please do feel free to reach out to us via the website or write to us at seedinclusivity@seedstars.com, and we will be getting back to you in a timely fashion with the responses. Thank you so much for your patience and for kindly considering the technical delays in this. Thank you so much, Ali, for your time. We really appreciate how you have achieved the success with DeafTawk as well. Ali is definitely going to be one of the mentors on the program to engage with all of you startups as well who will be applying. And we look forward to hearing from potential mentors who would like to also come on board. We'd like to bring you into the community and work further. For further information and to apply, again, visit seedinclusivity.com. Thank you so much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day ahead. Ali, thank you once
Thank you.
again. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. Thanks. Likewise. Bye.